God says someone you trust made a secret deal. This message holds vital information about what was promised to you, and you absolutely can't afford to skip it. God is giving you power that no one else has ever seen. Pay attention to that again. He's not just getting you ready for any blessing. He's not going to give you another rough season that looks like a win. He's giving you a power that has never been carried through the world in the way you're about to. You're not just here by accident. You didn't just happen to be here. Many years have passed since the Father showed you the way. Sometimes it was quiet, and other times you were pushed away. He led you through every closed door to get to this moment. Heaven has kept track, and there are no more gaps in the story. What you kept hidden is now coming out. What other people missed is now being found. What was buried is now coming back to the surface. Your reward is almost here. It's not going to happen sometime in the future. The prize has already been chosen, and right now those words are being said over your name. Follow me. This message is for you. And you're reading it at a time that seems normal, but isn't at all. You had no plans to stop. You had no plans to move more slowly. This was meant to be a short break in a string of things that were pulling at you. You stopped though. You were told, this is important. So, I need you to tell me who I call. I'm not talking to the part of you that tries to show off. It's not me who asks you to explain yourself to people who never ask the right questions in the first place. Below it all, I'm talking to the real you. The person who has been carrying something for a long time without giving it a name. You in that form are the ones this message is meant for. And your spirit has been looking for an answer for a while now. There have been 5 quiet things going on in your life. You could ignore any one of them on its own. They each tell a different story though. What you've first noticed is that places that used to make you feel good are now making you tired. The rooms that used to make you feel at home are now too small for you. You no longer feel happy when you talk to people who used to make you happy. It's not just happening. It's not your mind playing tricks on you. This isn't fear speaking. This shows that you can see things well. Because you've grown. The rooms that were right for you before can't hold you now. Not as easy to explain as the second thing. It's not the same to chase the things you used to. You no longer feel excited about writing down goals that you used to do so. Things that used to be fun when it was quiet now just feel like noise. It may seem like you no longer care. But the truth is that you now care about something more important. Something that the old ways couldn't do. The third thing comes from a place that's hard to grasp. There are some numbers that keep coming up, and you can't ignore them. Other people who don't know each other say certain things. You keep seeing the same words, like someone is leaving them for you to find. This isn't a mistake. This is being sent to you. The fourth thing comes to see you at the end of the day. Having dreams that seem more real than when you're awake. Seeing things that feel heavy, while you're half asleep that you can't get rid of by morning. You know something gave you something while you slept, but you can't quite put your finger on it. It's not strange. We're in touch. The fifth thing is the one that really takes the cake. The conversations you've had have come at just the right time. People you didn't even talk to have said things that answered questions you had. The best timing, the right people, the best places, and the best times. It doesn't feel like luck anymore. It's not a coincidence. This is how things fit together. These are not signs that things are going to break. Things are being set free by these signs. You are about to let out something that has been inside you for a long time. Before time runs out, listen to why it's important to stay with me until the end of this message. You'll know what real power is growing in you, and what fake power has been pulling you off track while you waited by the end. The plan is easy and only has 3 steps. It will help you know what's coming out. Let go of the fake version and get what's yours without having to work for it twice. You'll learn a simple 90-second exercise that ends as soon as you get something, so the power doesn't leave you for good. Near the end, 2 useful tools will be talked about that have helped many chosen ones go from feeling down to feeling better. There will be no smart talk about any of this. It will all be clear. Stay put. Right now, what's going on in your life is like a secret scroll being opened. That's where we really begin. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site, you are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. There's a scroll. Your name is on it. It was hidden somewhere that no one could get to, somewhere quiet that no enemy could get to. Its unique mark tells your story, and nothing outside of you can break it. When the time is right, it can only be opened from above. Now is the time. The scroll's words are about to become the words that are written all over your life as the seal breaks. You haven't been told this yet, though. The world has been wrong about something for a long time, and it has to do with power. Just take a moment to stop here with me. Don't add more words to fill the silence. Just let what was said sink into the part of you that was waiting to hear it. At this point, you've come a long way. Even though staying didn't make sense, you did it anyway. People thought you were crazy, but you kept believing. So, take a deep breath in. The next door starts to open at the same time. And the door of the past years is next. We need to name what has been taking shape before we can talk about what is being released. You may already know this story. He was 17 years old and his name was Joseph. He had dreams and a vision so big that it even bothered his family. They didn't understand, so they sold him as a slave. He was taken to a different country. He did work for someone else. A strong woman told lies about him. He was sent to prison and stayed there for many years. The dreams didn't come back to remind him for years. The visions did not come to him to comfort him. He did nothing. But most people miss this. The years he spent waiting in prison were needed to prepare him for an important job. A high position that is taken without preparation is bad for the person who gets it. Power that isn't formed first breaks the person who has it. Joseph wasn't getting in trouble at the prison. Inside it, he was being put together. It's also true for you. Those years that seemed pointless were actually useful. They didn't mean that they were forgotten. They were meant to make you stronger. There was no emptiness in the quiet. The peace and quiet taught. The delay wasn't a punishment. During the wait, the power that was about to come into your life was being shaped to fit you perfectly. You didn't lose those years. During those years, you learned how to handle what you are now being given. And there's a word for what was going on back then that our language doesn't fully express. The word in Old Hebrew is mashak, which has 3 letters. It sounds like this mashak. Today, the word is translated as anointing, which makes us think of something light, like a drop of oil on the forehead, a blessing, or a symbolic act. But mashak didn't mean a drop in the original language. It meant getting soaked through. You had to rub oil into your skin so deeply that it smelled like oil for days afterward. It didn't happen quickly. It soaked really well. Every room the person who was being anointed went into for a week would smell like the oil. This is what was going on while you waited for years. You were touched more than lightly. You were soaked, pressed, and saturated until your character naturally carries the scent of what's to come, without trying to impress or make anyone notice. The rest of the world is only now starting to notice. They haven't decided what to call it yet. But they can tell that the rooms you walk into are different. Another one was a boy named David who was with sheep in a field. The prophet went to his father's house and saw his older, stronger sons who looked like they would one day be kings. The father lined them up. "None of these," the prophet said. The dad asked for the little one. He still smelled like the field when he got in. His hair was a mess, and his hands were rough from work. The prophet put oil on David's head, and his people chose him to be king. But most people forget this part. So David could smell the grass and dirt again, after he was picked. He went back to the sheep and the field. The crown was real for more than 10 years. The throne had been promised, but the crown's time had not yet come. Before anyone could see it, the reward was safe. He was given the power before he was known to the public. That special blessing was still there. All those years in between, when his brothers made fun of him, when the king he would replace went after him, and when caves and the wild were the only places he could hide. It was getting stronger. It's also true for you. The medicine that was given to you years ago still works. It's been getting stronger when it's been quiet, but now the quiet is almost over. Also, before I tell you another truth, I should make it clear what the first truth is. There shouldn't be any hidden meanings or clues that are meant to sell something at the end of this message. There is honor in truth. We just talked about how that special blessing got stronger while no one was looking. This leaves a clear mark on the person who carries it. In fact, the two things that stop the brain's natural flow have changed the brain that holds everything you know. When you were little, one turned down your natural smarts in a quiet way. One began later in life, when the person was an adult, and slowly blocked the way to get what was promised. For the first stop, there is a sound. It goes on for 7 minutes. The Genius Song is the name of it, and a researcher named Dr. Lake worked on it for a long time. For the second stop, there's a second sound. It goes on for 5 minutes. Someone else named Dr. Newton came up with it, and it's called the wealth signal. They were never meant to be used by themselves. The first one makes me feel like a kid again. The second one lets that child do what was always meant for them. You get back to normal first, then you receive. If you're already interested, the link is in the description and the comment that was pinned. There is nothing hidden. For those who already feel it, the doors are open. The names are nice, but they're not the real gift. There is a gift in the next part of this message that will help your spirit remember things about itself. There is a deeper truth that comes out because the names you heard are just tools. Tools only work for people who know what they're building. That being said, the important question is, what is this power? It shouldn't be in flowery language or general words of support, but in clear details. What does a normal day look like for a woman who has been faithful and quiet for many years, and then starts to do something the world hasn't seen before? Since you were a child, the world has taught you that power should look a certain way: loud, pushy, obvious, and able to solve any problem with sheer willpower. It's risky not to ask this question carefully. For a very long time, the world has thought that kind of power was important. For that same amount of time, they have been wrong. That doesn't look like what you're carrying. It has a different shape. It moves in a different way. It comes in different ways. You'll think the real thing is something else, if you aren't told ahead of time. Because the real thing doesn't make the noises that the world has taught you to listen for. You might even miss it the first time it shows up, because you'll be looking for something more obvious. But the power is right next to you, waiting to be seen. Keep close. For years of silence, you've been getting ready to understand what comes next without any problems. 5 kinds of power that no one else has ever seen because no one has ever met the person who has them. That person is you. This is where the answer starts. The power that is coming into your life now is not the power that everyone else values. The world has valued a kind of power that is loud, takes over, forces things, steps on other people to get attention, strikes fear in people to get them to move, and puts pressure on them to get things done. For a long time, people have called that strength, but it's not. Power that looks like the real thing, so that no one can tell the difference. Things in your life are letting go of something older and quieter, that the world hasn't learned to name yet, because it hasn't been ready to be seen. It's who you really are, not a performance. Things should work together instead of being pushy. It's a special blessing, not just a goal. You've been growing each one for years, even though you couldn't see it. It shows up in 5 different ways. Being truly present is the first way. You don't even have to say anything to change the mood in a room. There is a change in mood when you walk in. People are more careful what they say around you, not because they are afraid of you, but because they remember how to be honest when you're around. The voice gets less angry. It stops the voice that puts on a show. The voice that was hidden starts to come out. That just happened on its own. All you had to do was walk into the room. This is more than just being nice. Charm puts on a show. Putting on a show isn't part of being truly present. Being truly present means just existing. It's been a while since the world saw this kind of presence. That's because people have been taught to act to get into rooms, instead of just being themselves. The second way is having the power to know things without being told them. Some things are clear to you before you even think about them. When someone talks, your spirit knows right away if what they said is true, before your mind has had a chance to process the words. There's something about meeting a stranger that makes you know who they are in the first 30 seconds. When you walk into a room, you already know what kind of room it is before anyone helps you figure it out. It's not paranoid to do this. There's no need to be suspicious. You can know this faster than you can think. You've learned from the world to ignore what you know, to trust your mind more, and to talk yourself out of what your spirit already saw. When you let go of this power, you allow yourself to trust that knowing again. Third, there's the power of things coming together. It's when doors open that you didn't even try to open. People show up with answers to questions you hadn't even thought to ask. And resources show up just when you need them in ways that you can't attribute to your own work. People call this luck. The world is not right. Luck is not a plan. Things that keep coming together aren't happening by chance. When the right thing keeps coming at the right time, through the right person, and in the right way, that's your own energy blending with the energy of the season you're in. It wasn't too hard to make this alignment. It was made by the person you grew into, when no one was looking. The fourth way is the strength of the places you are. Some of the things you say can end up in places you didn't mean them to. 3 days after you have coffee with a friend, they tell you that one sentence changed something they had been having trouble with for years. Someone reads something you wrote quickly and forgets about months later and says it changed their life. You don't know why. Even though that wasn't why you wrote it, how it makes people feel has more weight than the words themselves. This is a special blessing for the way you talk to people. The oil that was rubbed into your character years ago is now spreading to everything you touch. Most people have forgotten how to see in the fifth way. It's the power of just receiving. Being able to accept what is put in your path without fighting it. To take what was promised with the same joy. A child takes a gift, knowing that you earned it. Don't worry that it will be taken away. There's no need to pay it back right away. The world has taught you not to receive in this way. You've learned to be wary of free things, gifts, and things that should have been given to you. Getting back the part of you that knew how to receive before the world taught you to hold back, is what it means to release this power. There are 5 ways: being fully present, having a clear understanding, things falling into place, having an impact, and just receiving. They don't push. None of them are strong. There's no noise that lets you know they're there, that you've learned to listen for. Still, they have a weight that the world hasn't seen before when they're together. But why hasn't anyone seen this before? Since everyone hasn't seen you yet. The person who is about to step forward is not that person. The world has only seen your early drafts, the ones that aren't finished yet, and still say you're sorry for being too sensitive, too quiet, too patient, or too careful about who you trusted. The version of you that is now out there is the whole thing. This one has never been seen before. There is no one else in the world who has what you have. You can't get back the years that made you who you are. You can't borrow the disappointments that made you change your mind. No one whose journey wasn't the same as yours can download the belief that kept you going when it didn't make sense. Being released with power is the power of a unique life, at its most important moment. This has never been seen before because there has never been another you. There won't be another one. Your name is written on the mark on the scroll. No other story can beat the mark, only yours. But most people don't hear this when they hear what I just said. As soon as the real power comes on, your path will be in the most danger. This is because the fake version comes at the same time. It always does. You'll pick the wrong one if you aren't told. During this same quiet time, the person who has been shaping you for years speaks. Also being said is, I didn't bring you this far to give you something fake. What I'm giving you is something that is only mine to give. It's not the things the world has taught you to want. The prize is holy, and it won't look like what most people think of as winning. I talked to a woman once. People knew about her before she had everything set up. She had chances come her way faster than she could be shaped. People began to follow her, listen to her, and call her names she hadn't grown into yet. She agreed to everything because she had been waiting so long to be seen that she didn't ask if the version she saw was the one she had been made for. She had lost herself in just 2 years. Her role in public was real. She really did have an effect. She spoke, but it wasn't her own voice. She later told me that the public fall wasn't the worst part. It took her years to remember how her voice had sounded before she gave it away. That was the worst part. The lesson isn't that being seen is risky. The lesson is that it's dangerous to be seen without being truly aligned. Power without preparation is deadly for the person who has it. The person who has been waiting feels stuck when they are getting ready without power. Both have been given to you. You've been changed over the years that no one saw, and the power has been getting stronger all that time. They are both coming together. That's what keeps you safe. The mark on the scroll is coming apart. The mark does, however, protect both what's inside and what's outside. We just talked about what's inside. We haven't talked about what's outside yet. Most people don't know about what's outside, or what's coming up at the start of this season, until it's too late. Take a deep breath in. Let what you just heard sink into the part of you that has been waiting to hear it. The next truth is the one that keeps what was just said safe. The fake stuff is outside the mark. Don't think of the fake stuff as your enemy, the way you've been taught to. It doesn't have horns on it. It doesn't say that it is bad. It shows up dressed almost exactly like the real thing, and talking in a voice that sounds almost exactly like the real thing. Almost, that almost, is what makes it risky. When the real power starts to come into your life, the fake stuff shows up in 3 different ways. These things have all gone wrong with people who were truly chosen, truly blessed, and truly on the verge of what had been promised to them. Pay attention. The first fake is trying too hard to look like a good thing. Something in your chest tells you, the time has come. You must show up bigger now. You must do more. You must move faster. You must prove the power before it goes away. It tells you that you have to earn what you're getting right when you get it. It means that taking a break now would be a waste of time. It tells you that things that are lining up will move, if you don't work hard to get them back. It's not true. The real blessing doesn't get scared. The real blessing doesn't put any stress on you. The power that has been building in you for years is not what feels like a clock ticking somewhere you can't see, or a sense of urgency from outside yourself. That is a fake. It can only be fixed by going even slower until the stress goes away. People have seen the second fake act like it's alignment. It shows up as a strange desire to be seen again after years of not being seen. It means that being aligned and being looked at are the same thing. It mixes up having a platform with having a reason for being. Attention is mixed up with a special blessing. This is why it's so dangerous. When the real power starts to show, the fake version of being seen will show up. People will pay attention to you. The doors will open. People will look at you. And here's the trick inside the trick. You'll want to open any door that opens just because they're opening, instead of checking to see if the door that opened is the one that was promised. You can't just walk through any open door. Some doors opened for you because you became interested in things you weren't ready to carry yet. You don't have to walk through every open door to get to the real view. It leads you to the few that were made just for you. The third fake is using someone else's name and address. It says in a low voice, "You've been waiting so long." Maybe the version of you that finally gets to live should look like someone else. Then it gives you the part of someone you've looked up to. It tells you to speak like the successful person you wish you were like. Makes you think that pretending is the fastest way to get through a time that you don't want to go through as yourself. This fake is the worst, because it wants you to give up the very thing that has been shaping you for years. You in the beginning, the one that can't be used again, the shape that no one else has. If you try to borrow an identity right now, You will give up what makes you unique for a copy of something less valuable. Do not trade. No one else can carry the thing that is being released in your life. When real power tries to flow through a borrowed identity, it will fall apart. Something needs to be brought up gently before anything else is said. Some fear has been coming to you when you're alone. The worry about being seen. It's scary to finally be seen after being hidden for a long time. That big change you prayed for might have made you wonder if there's something wrong with you. Because it feels scary when it starts to happen. You're not sick. Fear of being seen in someone with real power is part of the plan, not a flaw in the person. The fake isn't afraid of being caught. The fake wants it so badly. Being seen costs money and requires a lot from the person carrying it, and the days that follow. Only those with real power know these things. Fear isn't a sign of weakness. The thing that scares you is seeing the truth. It's your spirit letting you know how heavy what's being given to you is. Fear is normal, but don't let it run your life. How are you going to get through this without giving up what's growing in you to the fake that's waiting at the door? There are 3 steps. Remember them. Read them in the right order. The first step is to understand. Don't make what's growing inside you look bigger or smaller than it is. Just name it. A lot of people will think that the early signs are just in their heads. Some will try to make them look bigger and get lost because they are proud. Seeing is the clear way to get from one to the other. You just say what it is. Your real presence is getting stronger. You are becoming more aware of what you know. Things are beginning to fall into place. Your power is changing. Your ability to receive is getting better. Tell yourself it straight out, without any drama or doubt. You can't skip the first step, which is realizing. Let go is the second step. Give up all the fake forms of power you held on to during the wait. When it was quiet, you used to work too hard as a habit. You tried on fake identities, while you waited for your real ones to come back. You feel like you have to prove yourself to people who will never really like you anyway. Every fake thing you held on to during the tough times needs to be dropped before the real power can fill those hands. Putting out isn't failing. It means getting ready to release. Getting is the third step. And this is where most people have trouble. Receiving means taking what is given to you, without having to work for it again. You learn to think that everything costs money, and that even things that are free must have a bigger cost. The third step is to receive like a child does when they get a gift. With no reason to argue, back down, or make a plan to pay it back right away. You own what is coming into your life right now. When you receive something, you don't have to prove that you deserve it again. You can just walk through. I have one more thing to say before I end this lesson. There's one practice that ends as soon as you get something. Most people don't know how to do it, because they were never taught. It is known as the nindu, second pause at the threshold. What it is, most people act right away when they feel the change, when they feel it arrive, or when something shows up in their life that they know is part of what was promised. To do something, say it out loud, make it official, lock it in, call someone or make a plan. What most people do is wrong. That reaction is the voice that's still there after years of working hard. You should tell yourself that when the next moment of arrival comes, you should do nothing for 90 seconds. Not just outside. Not inside either. Do not say a prayer over it. Don't try to figure it out. Don't make plans for it. Don't thank God yet. Just enjoy what has come your way. Before you do anything, leave it alone for 90 seconds. Why? Because receiving ends when it's quiet. It takes your body, spirit, and soul 90 seconds to really get what was given to them. If you do something during those 90 seconds, it stops the gift from making you bigger. Instead, it makes the gift fit your old ways. There is no reason for the 90-second break. It's getting. The third step is to receive. Remember these things: recognizing, letting go, receiving, and the 90-second pause that ends the work. Listen to who you are now. Before this flow takes you any further, listen slowly. Listen to it without moving away. You carry power with you. It's your job, not because you wanted to be, or because you got promoted. You had power before you even knew what it was. That has been written. You are the guardian. The world will know who you are before they even know your name. When you enter a room, it will look different. People will talk more deeply when you're there. Most of the people who feel the change won't be able to say what took place. They'll know something took place. That has been written. You are the owner of the original frequency. There is no such thing as a second you in the world. There has never been one. There won't be ever. No one else can copy the unique energy you have. The world hasn't seen it before, because it hasn't met the person who keeps it yet. That has been written. You take things in like a child. You are free to take what was promised, without having to earn it twice, explain it to people who don't get it, or say, sorry for how big what's being given is. You can have the gift. That has been written. That being said, listen to what you've learned while you've been with me. You opened this maybe an hour ago and didn't know what it would be called. You now know. You didn't waste the years. The years helped you grow. People didn't forget about the quiet. The peace and quiet taught. The power that is coming into your life is holy, not the fake kind that the world gives you. And it made you into the unique person you are today because of everything you went through. That's why no one else has seen it. Everyone hasn't seen you. Not yet. You know there's a fake at the door dressed as 3 different people. You know how to find all of them. You already know the 3 steps: recognizing, letting go, and receiving. As soon as the 90-second pause is over, the moment of arrival is over. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description, or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. One more part. Not just thoughts, but real help. This message already talked about 2 interruptions. the loss of your natural intelligence, and the closing of your receiving channel. These two events leave a clear mark on the body that carries them. And someone took our words and put them in a way that a brain can understand. Things can be put back together again. It has to be done in a certain way. That order is important. Stay close. The path that will make what you've learned real, and something you can hold on to, is coming together. Does anyone remember when Genius Song and Wealth Signal were first brought up in this talk? It was a long time ago. Since then, the names have been with you waiting. Throughout this whole message, the hidden wall has been coming down. It's now ready to open all the way. We can finally say what those two names really mean. Before they are, take a moment to think about what has been said so far. If you are safe, close your eyes for 30 seconds. Imagine that you are alone and standing in front of two bodies of water. The first body of water is still. You can see the child you used to be when you look into it. Before everyone told you to back off. Before everyone told you to be less big, more open, and more curious. Be full of the wonder that adults have forgotten how to see. The second body of water is also still. The reflection is what you came here to get when you look into this one. The things that were promised are waiting for them in the way that was promised. But on the other side of a path that has been closed for a long time. This isn't just a way to talk about getting better. You can now see what was always yours. Take some time to really understand that. Now for the names. You were not born normal. People who have been chosen, and for whom this message is meant, are born with two special energies fully charged. That's the first one. It comes from being open and curious, and from being amazed at being alive, without knowing why things have to be hard yet. Little kids have it without even trying. Alf is the second. It's the energy of receiving, of being the way that what is promised comes in. This one is also easy for kids to get. They enjoy gifts the same way they enjoy the sun, without saying sorry or making a case. Both of them were dulled by the world. The world taught you to worry, perform, and doubt the wonder around the time you were 7 years old, which dulled the first one. As an adult, I struggled, carried weights that were never meant to be carried alone, and lived with the constant low hum of pressure that adulthood teaches the body is normal. This dulled the second one. Two forces. There were two breaks. Two things that make the gap between the child you were and the adult you feel so big. She was 43 years old and worked as a teacher in Texas. For 10 years, she spent her days helping young people become the people they were becoming. But she felt like she had stopped growing at some point. She said that her mind was like a machine that was only 30% as strong as it used to be. She would leave the choices she had to make on her desk for months. It wasn't as common to have ideas as it used to be. Something came back after listening to a certain sound for 7 minutes every day for 3 weeks. Not too loud, but not too quiet. Like they did before the dimming, ideas started to come back. She made a choice in one morning that she had been putting off for almost a year, without any pain or big changes. It was just clarity going back to where it had lived before. The sound is known as the Genius Song. It was created by Dr. Robert, who spent 34 years studying what scientists have been calling the decline effect. This is the drop in gamma brain activity that starts around age 7 and gets deeper as a person gets older. This makes the body less able to hold the energy it was made to hold. The Genius Song is a 7-minute audio file that you listen to with headphones. It uses a brain entrainment technique to send two slightly different sound frequencies to each ear at the same time. This lets the brain naturally return to the gamma frequency. The research that Dr. Lake uses comes from ME, Princeton, Harvard, and other top research institutions. The audio has a simple job to do. It brings back what was lost. It makes you feel like a kid again. Curiosity comes back, openness comes back. The original meaning of the word, wonder, comes back. If you buy the Genius Song, you also get the Youthful Brain, which is a stronger version that goes deeper than the 7-minute audio alone. A lot of chosen ones who go further on this path have used it to build on what the first one did. It's there after you get the Genius Song. Take it if your spirit tells you to. The original is enough if it doesn't speak to you. Your spirit will understand. The decline that was talked about earlier in this message is very clear in the brain that carries it. During the years that Dr. Lake studied it in labs, the brain activity of people who had been listening to the special sound could be seen moving back toward the gamma state, which is the same state that a child's brain was in before the dimming started. This is not a vague science. It's possible to measure. The tool does nothing more than give the brain what it was made to hold. This doesn't mean that the child inside you can be woken up, the gamma energy restored, or the sense of wonder returned. She will still try to grab what was promised, but fail because there's a second interruption, which the first audio doesn't fix. It's morning, but the child can't get what she was promised, because the door is still closed. A lot of people don't know this about getting back to normal. One tool can only do one step of the two-step process. The second break is known as the stress signal. The constant extra activity of the beta brainwave is caused by the low-level stress of adulthood. Like worrying about money, and always feeling like there's not enough. This is how your body learns to be on guard without you even realizing it. The alpha energy is taken over by this extra beta activity. It blocks the way that the thing that was promised should come in. You can now relax. You can be honest. Even if your childlike mind comes back to life, you may still find yourself reaching for what is promised, but never quite managing to grab it. Trying hard but not getting anything in return. The bridge to the front desk stays shut. Another researcher, not Dr. Lake, mapped this second interruption in his own lab over the course of many years. His research was very different from Dr. Lake's. His name is Stephen Newton. He worked as a neuroscientist at Stanford, and eventually went against the common way of thinking in his field, to publish the work he had been doing. This work was based on research from Boston University, Stanford, Harvard, and other companies. He came to his own conclusions. The two researchers never worked together, trained together, or did anything else together. They just found the same two signals in different decades and labs, and came to the same conclusions about how to fix both of them. A 5-minute track called The Wealth Signal is Dr. Newton's tool. Together with a 9-word script and a special frequency that gently calms down the extra beta activity and brings back the alpha state. This method has its roots in more than 3,000 years of Hindu spiritual practice and gets around what Dr. Newton calls neural rigidity in the thalamus, a small part of the brain. Every day, the audio is played. Along with it, the script is read out loud. Once the first sound has woken up the child inside, the wealth signal's job is to open the channel. The receiving drawbridge goes down. The promised thing starts to flow in the way it was always meant to flow. The kingdom, as the ancient teacher put it, starts to feel close again, as the child receives without trying or negotiating. When you get the wealth signal, you can also get the wealth signal accelerator, which is a stronger version that makes the receiving channel go deeper and faster than the original audio does on its own. A lot of people who were already chosen have moved onto this path. It will show up after the wealth signal. Take it if your spirit tells you to. The original is finished if it doesn't. Your spirit will understand. Also, a note about both. The wealth signal accelerator and the youthful brain are sometimes used together by those who go the furthest on this path. The two stronger versions work together to make a deeper restoration. If your spirit tells you to, you will find both after you get the copies. The originals are all that's needed. This mix is for people whose path needs to go further than most. 2 researchers, 2 new ideas, and 1 way to get things back to normal. Another one was a man 48 years old who worked as a sales manager in Phoenix. After getting promoted, he worked 60-hour weeks for 5 years. His pay went up. It didn't matter how much money he had, his body stayed in survival mode. Every night when he got home, he felt like his battery was only 5% charged. He was not really there in the evenings, even though his body was in the room. His wife told him several times in a gentle way. He used the wealth signal for 11 days, and almost immediately got what he had been wanting for 2 years. He told his bosses what they could and couldn't do. He had been afraid to ask for this before. His sales did not go down. The line stayed put. He didn't check his work emails at all over the weekend for the first time in 4 years. It wasn't his income that changed. The change was that he was there. It makes sense that these questions should come up at the same time. Pay attention to what your spirit may be quietly asking. You may be wondering if this is just another form of meditation, visualizing, manifestation work, sound healing, or breathing exercises if you've already tried them. It's not. For the tools to work, your brain has to change slowly from the inside over months or years. Using sound technology that can be measured, these 2 tools change the frequency of your brain directly from the outside. And the tools you've tried can only work on one state. These 2 aim for 2 different frequencies in the only way that finishes the restoration. That's the difference. There may be parts of you that think this sounds too good to be true. I get that. The amounts could be useful. Nearly 38,000 chosen ones have been on some part of this path with both products. Each item has a return rate of less than 5%. Over 95% of those who started kept going. This is more than just an opinion. The data was gathered over many years, and compared to EEG recordings, made in the same labs where the original research was done. Don't worry about how much these tools cost. I would never treat someone badly because they are having trouble with money. If your spirit only wants the first step of restoration, the first path, the genius song alone, is for you. Thank you very much. In 1 year, the whole path costs less than 1 session of biofeedback therapy that only works on one of these states. And biofeedback only works on one. It's not the cost that matters. The question is if someone is calling your spirit. You might be wondering why there are 2 products when one could do both jobs. The answer is easy. Every tool is made to work with a certain frequency. The drop in gamma is fixed by the genius song. That extra beta activity that shuts down the alpha channel is turned off by the wealth signal. They have different sounds. One tool can't really target both, because the settings needed for one would mess up the settings needed for the other. And the order is important. People whose brains still have low gamma frequencies can't receive the wealth signal on their own. They don't have the open mind of a child. The genius song is the only thing that wakes the child up. It doesn't let the promised thing come in. A teacher once said, "The kingdom belongs to those who become like little children." Not many people understood that he was talking about the order of frequencies. First become the child, and then get what was promised to the child. The order is the way it was meant to be. There are now 3 ways to go. Some people are chosen to start with just the first wave, the genius song. The first audio is for people whose spirit is mostly asking for the child inside to be brought back to life. There are 4 bonuses, which should be seen as a real starting point, and nothing less. Some people are chosen to start with just the second wave, which is the wealth signal. For those who already have a strong spiritual practice, and whose minds have been like children's never fully going to sleep. For those who know that the opening of the channel is what they need most. The second sound file is the 9-word script. There are 4 bonuses, and a unique path is also recognized. Most people who have been chosen know that both restorations are needed, along with all 8 bonuses and the whole path. Restoration comes first, then reception. Bring back your childlike mind, and act like a child again. And what was promised comes through. Most people who work in this area go this way, not because they feel pushed, but because the restoration and the reception build on each other. They don't just add up. The mind that wakes up like a child, when the channel is off, is half the work done. Being able to receive without waking up your childlike mind is half the fun. When most chosen ones hear the steps clearly explained, they realize that the whole path is what their spirit was already drawn to. The door is open as long as the season lasts. There isn't a running timer on a screen, but there is a season. And each season has its own beat. Your spirit knows when the call is, not when it is. Either one is fine. Before this closes for safety, there's something important to say. Other websites that are not related to the original research are using the names of these 2 products. Fake ones are being sold with names that sound like the real ones. There isn't a single one that has the brain entrainment technology on the genius song. None of them are tuned to the same frequency as the wealth signal. You can only get the real versions of both, with all 8 bonuses, through the links in the description and the pinned comment below this message. You also have 90 days to get your money back, no questions asked. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look for anything else besides the links that were given to you on Amazon or streaming services. Take a break now. Take a single breath and think about something. Take your time. The thing in front of you isn't about picking a price. It's about which way you should go. We honor all 3. They are all real. Your spirit already knows who is calling you, and it's likely that it will know even before this message ends. In the pinned comment and below, you'll find the 3 links. Get into the one that calls you. On the page below this message, there are 3 doors that you can go through. The first wave by itself, the second wave by itself, or the whole restoration sequence. The door is in the description and the pinned comment, so you can go in any direction your spirit leads you. You can go through the door that calls you, or read this message all the way through to really understand what it means to be called. Either way is fine if your spirit wants quiet first. The words are now becoming quieter. There was enough said to be done. You and what you've always been are left with breath, being present, and a silent promise. Don't hold on to the thought that you were forgotten. Let go of the part of you that thought you had to put on a show to get power. Give up the part that made you think that waiting was the same as being left alone. Let go of the part that thought silence meant nothingness. Let go of the part of you that wanted to take on the identity of someone you looked up to, while the unique shape of your own blessing grew stronger in the quiet. Let go of the part that didn't want to be seen. Don't hold on to the part that said sorry for taking up space that was always meant for you. Don't feel bad about letting those parts go. Instead, say, thank you. They got you here. They made it through the hard times. They didn't give up. They won't walk with you through the next season, because it's made for the person you've become, not the person you were. Slowly listen to who you are. You have power because you have to, not because you want to. You are a guardian whose presence speaks louder than your name. You are a unique frequency holder with a shape that has never been seen before. You are a receiver, like a child who can take what was promised, without having to work for it twice. The scroll is now open. This is the end of the reading. You own what was named, not because you earned it, but because it was always yours. I have called you by name. The power you carry now is the power I formed for you. It is unique and doesn't belong to anyone else. Walk in it without fear. The hour I appointed has come, they say. Before you go to sleep, put one hand on the part of your chest where the old fear used to live. Just for a moment. Under it, feel the steady beat of your own breath. Take what was just named over your life. Do not try to earn it. Don't try to show that you deserve it. Don't try to pay it back as soon as you take it. Just get it. The seal is broken. The book has been read. The word has been said. That's the case. The door is still where it was in the description and the pinned comment. If your spirit is still calling, those who are ready can find the way. Do well, chosen one. You are about to enter your divine future, but remember this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary, where we discuss the Word daily, and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.